Alrighty, so today I'm going to walk you through how you can seamlessly collect the data you need in your CRM directly in Hubspot and the payment information all in a single form. So we have our dummy form here for our Future of Learning Summit of 2026. This is what the respondent will see when you've shared a link with them. They maybe opened it up from their email, found it on your website, and they are now looking at the form to fill it out. We have some general event information for the respondent. And there's a next button so that they can go to the page to actually fill out the form. At the top, we've included some instructions. We can start filling out this form. We will be Jane Doe today, and we are from FA University. There's tools to help with address filling out easier. So you could just put in part of your address and that will autofill. We'll pretend like we are a previous attendee for last year's event. So we'll put 2024 here. And what do you hope to get most out of this event? I want to learn new things. Now at the bottom of our form, we have a question that says, I'm registering as a professional or a student. On the next page, this will control what workshops are shown to the educators or the students based on what's selected. So let's review the student side of things first. So we've selected that we're a student, and now you can see on this page we have 3 specific student-tailored workshops. We have our modern classroom management strategies, culturally responsive teaching, and thriving in student teaching, because we haven't quite become a full teacher yet. On this page, I can select different workshops and I'll see a different total tallied up here. Or I can say, no, thank you. I don't want to attend any workshops at all. And that part will completely go away, allowing me to submit without going through any payment process. I'll return to the previous page just so you can see the difference if I was to choose an educator. So we'll go back one and we will choose educator professional. And now you'll see that the workshops have changed. We now have managing STEM for hands-on activities, data-driven instruction. We have the AI in the classroom choice as well. So this time I'll go ahead and select these 2 workshops. We have a total of 65 here. We also have a message that just popped up that lets the respondent know that they will be redirected so they're not surprised when a different screen appears. In this case, we're going to Stripe to complete our payment. So we'll click submit and we have the 2 different choices that we selected. We selected that assessment workshop and the hands-on workshop for STEM. We'll put in our information. We'll do jane@email.com. Alrighty, we will pay for our tickets for this event and we have our thank you message. We have our ticket. Jane can add this event directly to the calendar, or we can obviously print this page. We're also going to get a copy via email, so that part is not necessary. This is more of a courtesy to the user so they have that information right away. So we have this form. We've collected the data that we want to know about our attendees or our soon-to-be attendees. We've got the payment information. Let's see what helps to power this experience. So here we're moving into our FormAssembly platform directly in the workflow builder. What starts a workflow, of course, is a form. We have our Future of Learning Submitted 2026. And then we have a break here in the workflow. We have a path for those who chose not to purchase any workshops and those who have purchased a workshop. And then we have further broken it down into student workshops, educator workshops. And once they've completed their payment, they will go to the HubSpot step. Here we have HubSpot, create contact and ticket. Let's dive a little bit more into how this is configured and connected into HubSpot. So for create a contact, we have mapped directly from the form, the name, email information, those questions we asked about the attendee, whether they previously attended past events, that information is going over there too. There's school information, address, your pretty standard fields that you want to know about people who are attending an event. Moving further away from just the contact information, we have a custom object called an event ticket. For demo purposes, we just have the name of the event, but we're also pulling in information from the payment they made. We are directly going to send the Stripe payment ID to that ticket so that someone else, maybe from AR or just someone browsing the CRM who wants to bridge the gap, go to Stripe, make sure that that payment went through, or just reference it later, they can do so. Let's move to Hubspot so we can see all the information that we created. So here we have Jane Doe, and if you look, we have FA University, the address that was entered onto the form. We have our event ticket here with our Stripe payment ID. We have our educator professional label and the information about the event that they previously attended. So we did it, right? We have the data we need, we have the payment, it's all in HubSpot. What if we want to send a survey after the event so that we can get more information from our attendees. Let's move back to the form builder and we'll build a new form. But instead of me manually typing out all of these fields, dragging and dropping, which drag and drop is pretty easy to use, we'll have Faye, our AI assistant, help us build this form. So let's ask Faye to create a short post-event feedback form for the Future of Learning Summit event. And I'll talk through while Faye is building for us. Faye has taken us to the form builder and we'll start adding fields based on the query that we gave to Faye. So we didn't tell Faye any specific fields to add, but Faye has the form directly in her site so she could see what form we were already working on to get an idea of what kind of questions we might want to ask as a follow-up to an event that happened. So let's look at what Faye built for us. We have the name and email. How would you rate the event? What part did you find most valuable? All things that are relevant to the event form that we already had open without giving full context. Faye just figured out what we might want to ask of our attendees who attended. So now we have full circle. We have our form collection, payment collection, everything's in Hubspot. And now we have the follow-up piece to bring it all together and close the gap on our data collection workflow.